We are finally in 2022.
Sayonara, sucker!
So I hope mommy and daddy gave you a lot of Christmas money because there's a shit ton of games coming out this year. YouTuber Chris Raygun on the Sacred Symbols podcast recently perfectly described the games coming in 2022.
I think this next year, there's a lot of unproven material. You know, like we have a lot of stuff that very well could be cool and very well could not be so hot.
I agree with this take. I feel the same exact way with movies as well. We know Spider-Verse 2, Doctor Strange 2, Mission Impossible 7, those are probably going to be great. But Uncharted, Morbius, come on, Jared Leto, I like your music, bro. But when it comes to acting, he's known more for doing bullshit method acting that I can't tell whether or not paid off since his performance never blows me away. And nope. Seriously, that is what the movie is called. Again, we know the games that are probably going to be good, but many games like Forspoken, Redfall, Gotham Knights, Starfield, and so much more are new territory. So we will have to see, but I don't mind that at all because some are bound to be great surprises. Yo, what's good? You already know I'm KenWal, and first, I hope you all enjoyed your holidays. Hopefully, Omarion didn't end up anywhere it wasn't supposed to be. Ooh, you like what I just did there? I did. Anyways, around this time of the year, we see a bunch of lists like top games of 2021 or most anticipated games coming out in 2022. Well, since this is YouTube and you gotta follow the trends, I decided to make my own list. And since my channel is more driven towards open world games, that's what we're going to be covering. We are going to be covering my most anticipated open world games coming out this year. As always, before we begin, allow me to give you a friendly reminder to like this video. And if you end up here, I'm messing up on my own intro. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you end up enjoying it here at my channel, know that I give you the best open world game news and video essays where I go deeper into other gaming topics. As always, thank you, crew. The first game that is on my list is Horizon Forbidden West. I never played the first one because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time. When I first saw the gameplay trailer for Horizon Forbidden West, I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, how many families were lost due to crunch on this game? Seriously, I didn't expect anything that I saw. I know many people played the first one, but again, I did not. So everything is new to me, which made it even more amazing for me. It could be really good or bad, but I don't think it will be the latter. Guerrilla has somehow managed to make this game look like a next-gen exclusive. This game will definitely make me hook back up my PlayStation 5. Finally, it's starting to look like my Xbox One. WB Games can have an insane year.
Word.
If they can deliver, WB Games has Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League all coming out in the same year. I'm a big superhero fan. As a matter of fact, I ain't got no real role models. All my role models are superheroes because, you know, they're actually good people. Real people are just shitty and just end up disappointing you at the end. This way, I don't have to worry about them getting canceled. With that being said, it shouldn't come as a surprise that both Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League are on my list. Overall, the reason why both of these games made it on my list is because, obviously, I think they look fun. They have a lot of promise, but these games are unproven. They are new. They're not sequels, obviously, and both of these games are going to have live service in them. So we will have to see how they get handled because that can make or break a game. Specifically with Gotham Knights, the last time we saw them was at DC Boredom 2021. And before that, it was getting dislike bombed. Oh yeah, I can't show you it anymore because fucking Gen Z. I also was not a fan of the RPG number above the enemies' heads. I was like, oh, not again. My Avengers PTSD is kicking in, bro. I don't want this shit again. Read the room, WB. It really made me wonder if they knew what they were doing, WB Montreal. But then they started talking about the game, which didn't do much either way. But then they delayed the game. And I was like, all right, maybe they know what they're doing because they want to add more stuff to the game. I'm just speculating here, but at the end of the day, I think the delay was significant enough for them to really improve this game, and that's what gets me excited. Only 2-player co-op excites me because this makes things less chaotic and less horde-like. This game can actually take the opportunity to actually add real cooperative mechanics. After playing It Takes Two, bruh, it really only takes two sometimes, all pun intended. The customization looks really good already. Like, who would have thought the armor you pick up actually changes your appearance? What dumbass thought of that? Like, who thought of that? That was the dumbest thing in Avengers. Anyways, again, this game got delayed significantly, so I really hope they took the time to get what they couldn't get done originally. Now, Gotham Knights is rumored to release spring 2022, which makes sense since they got Hogwarts probably releasing close to each other. I would say Hogwarts Legacy and Gotham Knights are going to be close, and then Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League Q4. I just find it odd that WB Games is launching both of these superhero live service games in the same year, so we will see how that pans out. Yo, I really hate the Suicide Squad. Like, who are you fooling? Suicide Squad ain't killing any member of the Justice League. I can't even see them in the same room as the Justice League. But Rocksteady is making me like their version a lot, especially Captain Boomerang. The Sunset Overdrive inspired gameplay looks really fun, especially since this means this game is a shooter, which is something Rocksteady hasn't made since their first game. Boss fights in Arkham Knight took a dip compared to Arkham City, at least in my opinion, because of the Batmobile. I'm itching to see what the boss fights are going to be in Suicide Squad. In Arkham City, the bosses made you use multiple combat mechanics, different gadgets every time. It just did not make you do the same thing like avoid and then web them up, then punch. I hate to say this, but am I the only one that thinks Insomniac's boss design is a little too repetitive and easy?
How dare you sully my good name by spreading your slanderous filth!
I just think boss fights are the only thing Insomniac needs to improve, but that's just me. I hope Rocksteady goes back to this. This game is open world, so I am interested to see what kind of open world it is and the systems that are going to be added. Rocksteady's version of the Justice League looks lit already. They finally got Green Lantern in there, and it's the correct version, at least if you grew up on the animated series. Hold up, for a second, can we talk about the disrespect Green Lantern gets today? He got cut from Justice League twice. He was supposed to get a movie, but instead they turn it into a show where neither John nor Hal, the main Green Lanterns that everyone knows about, they're not even in it. Like, what kind of shit is that? This man deserves a game at this point. His ring can do almost anything. You know how many mechanics they can make for that alone? The game creates itself. Anyways, I hope we get many interactions with the Justice League members that isn't combat. Lastly, the title. I really am interested in the title, since there is no way in hell that's happening. But at the same time, they kind of have to do it, since that would be false advertising, right? But these are the same people that said Arkham Knight wasn't Jason Todd.
Who are you, Jason? No!
Rocksteady, you gotta do something, at least memorable. Like, you gotta blow off Flash's legs or something and he's crippled. I don't know. Just something to make up for that title, unless they really do it, which would be cool. We all hate when games get announced early. On my list of top 10 things that piss me off, that's right at the top next to when my parents call me and they don't say what they are calling me for. Starfield was a game I didn't give a fuck about until I heard Tom Cruise was gonna be in the game.
I looked at him, you know, and I thought, oh, what a beautiful thing, because maybe one day it'll be like that.
He's not though, but that got me to look into the game. I know it's just concept art, but damn, this was the most beautiful concept art I've ever seen. She got me a little stiff a little bit. The new locations that they revealed were Aquila, New Atlantis and New Neon. Just kidding, that's a Playboi Carti song. Bethesda isn't a surefire bet, and I'm not really a big Bethesda guy, but I do have faith that they'll get the job done. What gives me confidence is that they shut up about this game. Really, they don't talk about it too much. It pops up here and there. When we're really going to see the full reveal is probably this year at E3, but it's closed mouths from them. They don't market this game as the best space adventure game ever, where every planet is going to be different. Every planet you're going to be able to go to a city and meet new people and do all of the choices. No, they're keeping it close to their chest, and it's good. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not going to tell you that Todd Howard visiting SpaceX is what excites me about this game. That doesn't do shit. There's virtually nothing we know about this game, especially about the moment-to-moment gameplay. Cyberpunk, there's no denying that that game was ambitious. And in 2021, it lacked that. We didn't really have an ambitious game. But in 2022, Starfield, in my opinion, is that. Starfield is that because it's an open world space game. Just those 4 words invoke so much imagination and gets me to start thinking about all the space stories I've read as a kid growing up. Like, there's so much to put. There's so much that can go into this game, but obviously some of it is not going to make it in there. Like, is there going to be dogfights? Is there going to be spaceships that we could fly? Can I be like Andros from Power Rangers in space and fly around in that hoverboard? That shit was so cool as a kid. Is there going to be stuff like that? There's so many questions, and obviously some are going to make it in and then some aren't. All of this feeds into the ambition for this game. Starfield is really the only exclusive that people care about coming out on Xbox this year. I like what Xbox was able to do. They had a good year last year, but PlayStation is great because they're consistent. Now, Xbox, we need you to be. This last game that I'm about to mention is number 1. It takes it home. It takes home the cake, the bouquet, whatever. The previous games that I mentioned were not in any particular order, but this one is the one. Dying Light 2 is my most anticipated game of 2022. We have seen so many zombie stories that it's hard to do anything new with it, but Techland somehow manages to still shake things up. Dying Light 2 is going to be everything we loved about the first game, but on steroids. No, I'm not hyping this up. Just look at the gameplay. Over 1,000 new parkour animations, and to top it all off, choices are going to play a huge role in the game. Just recently confirmed, this game is going to be a non-stop, over 20-hour exhilarating ride, and that's just if you focus on the main story. It will take 80 hours to complete the main and the side missions, and over 500 hours to 100% everything. If you're not excited about this game, then I highly suggest you watch my video on everything you need to know about Dying Light 2. If that doesn't convince you, then shit, I don't know what will. Usually the 5 games I mentioned would be the only big games coming out this year, but not this time. The 5 games I just mentioned has to go against Elden Ring, Redfall, Dead Space, Forspoken, Tiny Tina's Revenge. There's so much more. 2022's about to go crazy. At least I hope so. As always, you already know I'm KenWal. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.